Hello friends! In today's video, I have prepared another amazing card trick for you, which Shin Lim performed on The Ellen Show. It's an amazing trick that I'm sure you'll enjoy. I never tire of repeating, friends, that in order to perform a cool card trick and surprise your audience, you don't need to have nimble hands or super cool techniques. All you need is a cool trick that is not complicated and can be presented beautifully. This trick is just like that. This trick does not require any preparation of the deck in advance. You don't need nimble hands, you don't need a long month of training. All you need is to take any deck of cards and repeat the trick. I will, of course, tell you the secret right now. So, one more small digression. Ideally, you need 3 spectators to perform this trick, so the ideal situation would be when you are in a large group, and you can call 3 spectators to you and show them this trick. Yes, you can show it to 1, you can show it to 2, but ideally there should be 3 spectators. So let's assume that the first spectator is sitting to my left, the second to my right, and the third opposite me. So we take a deck of cards, and to start with, let's shuffle it. Of course, we cut the cards and give them to our spectator. Our spectator takes the cards and shuffles them in the same way. He shuffled them as best he could, and of course, cuts them in the same way. Now, according to the good old tradition, we will let him memorize one card. Well, for example, he memorizes this card. He memorizes this card, and we shuffle the cards again. We shuffle the cards again, we can shuffle them like they do in a casino. Yes, like this. I am the most honest dealer in the world. No cheating tricks will work here. So, we have shuffled these cards, and now I will ask our audience to remember how to play poker. While they are remembering, I will divide our deck into 4 roughly equal piles. Yes, I will divide the deck into approximately 4 piles, while the audience remembers how to play poker. So here are our 4 piles. The audience member sitting opposite me, please choose whichever pile you like best. Let's say the audience member chooses this one. Now tell me who it will belong to. He says it will belong to me. Great, I'll keep it for myself. Now choose the next pile. Well, for example, the audience member takes this one. Choose who it will belong to. This character will give it to him. Now choose the next pile, this one will be yours. And accordingly, this one stays with our audience member. So friends, now let's remember how to play poker. First, in poker, the cards are dealt one at a time. Let's deal 1 card at a time. So we all deal 1 card at a time. Next, we can shuffle our remaining piles as we like, and deal as many cards as we want. In order not to drag out the video too much, I will not deal and shuffle for long, of course. I'll just show you how it works. So, all viewers shuffle and deal. This viewer does the same, and this viewer does the same. Let's say we dealt like this, and like this. Excellent. We are all great. We all did it. Now let's remember what happens next. Next, during the game, we lay the cards on the table, but before that, we discard 1 card before each round. So let's discard 1 card each. We discarded 1 card each, and the second round begins. We have discarded 1 more card each. Now the third round begins, and we have discarded 1 card each again. Discarded, 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 discarded. We don't need these discarded cards, so we remove them. Now our task is simply to count how many cards we have left. So we count, everyone counts their cards. So every spectator has counted and knows how many cards they have. Now tell me, my dear spectator, you who memorized the card, what is the probability that in this whole situation, when we dealt the cards, when we shuffled them, when we discarded them, what is the probability that you found your card completely by chance? The spectator, of course, says that it is unlikely. that the card is most likely somewhere in the discarded cards. You're wrong, I say. Turn over your top card. The spectator turns it over, and it is the 3 of diamonds that he memorized. But we are playing poker. Just 1 3 for poker is a weak card. It would be better to collect at least 4 3s. I turn over the next card, and it's also a 3. The spectators turn over their top cards, and they are also 3s. This is a wonderful card trick, friends, which Shin Lim showed us, and now, of course, we are going to learn it. But first, friends, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and write a comment about what you think of this trick. And now let's move on to the tutorial. So, friends, welcome to the tutorial on this wonderful card trick, which I am sure you will like and will definitely add to your repertoire. So, let's get started. First, we take any deck of cards and shuffle it however we want. Of course, the cards need to be cut, and now we can give this deck to our spectator to shuffle. The spectator, of course, takes our cards and shuffles them as best they can. Excellent. The deck is shuffled, and now we can start the lesson. Look, friends, the most important thing for you to know is your spectator's card. I'll show you now how I did it in the demonstration and how Shin Lim did it on the show itself. If you have difficulty with this method, do it your way. But your task is simply to know the spectator's card in the deck. It doesn't matter where it is in the deck, in the middle, at the bottom, at the top. It doesn't matter. The main thing is to know the card itself. So we have a spectator to whom we will show the trick. There are also spectators sitting on the left and right. So I grab the cards like this. That is, I move them slightly like this. I grab the deck with my thumb and index finger, and my other fingers are moved to the side. So I start flipping through the cards and stop at any point. I ask the spectator to remember the card. It's the 5 of clubs. The spectator remembers it. I put my little finger here and start flipping through the rest of the deck on it. Notice that I have a gap here, so after that I take and turn the cards over. Remember, I recently shot a video where I used a similar technique, but I made a mistake with the card, for which I received a lot of criticism. Here's how the trick works. You flip the card over and your pinky finger pushes the card forward so you can see it. But how did Shin Lim do it? And how did I do it in the demonstration? The card is lying there, here it is on the break, and I just pick it up and flip it over. A quick glimpse is enough for me. I see this card and immediately put these cards on the table. That's it, I already have this deck on the table, but I know the card, after which I can take these cards and shuffle them again. I've already seen that this card is the 5 of clubs. Now my task is to impose the 5 of clubs on my viewer, who has memorized it, to make him choose it. So as I do this, I start flipping through the cards, and while I'm looking through them, I tell the viewer that now we are going to remember how to play poker. With these words, I find the first 5. This will be my first pile, this 5. We need the spade. We need to know where the 5 of clubs will be. Here it is, the 5 of clubs. I won't put it aside right away because the pile will be small. I'll add a few cards here and then remove them again. I start flipping through the cards, and here's another 5. We can do it differently. We can put the cards on the table like this, face down, and then add cards on top of them. Well, let me do it the way I showed you. I'll flip through the cards one more time. I find the 5 of hearts. This will be our second pile. Let's flip through some more. I find the 5 of clubs, which we need. I put it aside and remember that the 5 of clubs is here. I look through the cards further, find the next 5, spread the cards out, and bring them together. And here it is, on top. That's it, I lay them out in front of my audience. I know that the 5 of clubs is here. Yes, here it is. I don't need to know the other 5s. I ask my spectator, which pile do you choose? It would be ideal if he took this pile and took it with his 5. That would be perfect. But what if the spectator chose the wrong pile? For example, the spectator chooses this pile. In that case, tell him, now choose who will own this pile. You can't take it for yourself. Well, let's say the spectator says that this pile will belong to me, the magician. Great, I'll take it for myself. Now please choose the next pile. They choose, for example, this one. Who will it belong to? They say, for example, this spectator. Yes, so we give it to them. Now choose the next pile. Suppose the spectator takes the pile with their card. In this case, we say, well, okay, keep this pile for yourself, and this pile will go to this spectator. Excellent. Now we have sorted through all the piles and matched our spectator with his 5 of clubs. Now we take our piles in our hands and say to our spectators, let's remember how the game of poker works. First, the cards are dealt one at a time. Let's deal one card at a time. Everyone deals one card. After that, you can shuffle the cards and deal 2 more cards, shuffle the cards and deal 3 more, and so on. We all shuffle and deal our cards in random order, yes, here we shuffle and deal them. Shuffle, deal, yes, shuffle, deal, shuffle, and deal in random order. Well, I'm not going to do all that now, so as not to drag this video out too much. So, the cards have been dealt, what next? Now we say again that everyone did a great job, everyone did well. Good job. Next, let's remember how the game works. On the table in each round, we lay out the cards, but before that, we discard 1 card from the deck. Let's discard 1 card each. We all discard 1 card each. Let's also discard 1 card each in the second round. And in the third round, we discard 1 card each as well. Everyone has discarded these cards. We don't need the discarded cards, so we remove them. Now, each of us has to count how many cards we have left in our hands. Repeat after me. Let's start counting these cards. I put the card down and I have a 5 at the bottom. I count all the cards. In fact, it is not necessary to count and remember the cards. The main thing is to bring the 5 to the top. All of our viewers do the same. Yes, they count the cards, bring them to the top, count the cards, and bring them to the top. By the way, friends, you can watch the original video where Shin Lim shows this trick on The Ellen Show. I'll leave the link in the description for this video. So, if you're interested in how Shin Lim did it, you can go and watch it. Well, let's continue. So, we've prepared our 5s, and now we just need to finish our trick. We ask, what is the probability that during all the shuffling and dealing, you found your own card? The spectator says that of course it's unlikely. We ask him to pick up the top card, he turns it over, and it's his 5 of clubs. But for poker, the 5 of clubs is a very weak card. Let's collect 4 5s. With that, I turn over my 5, and the audience turns over the other 5s. That's the whole secret.